I present Dr. Dre. The story of Andre Romelle Young Adams, also very well known as Dr. Dre. Born in 1965 in Compton, California, becoming one of the most successful producers in America, Andre Romelle was a normal kid who suffered discrimination and whose voice was never heard. Surrounded by gang violence, his whole childhood was something that was always abbreviated in every detail when he did have a voice. His neighborhood fighting over territory and drug and gangs. The ghetto builds character, he states, and it builds you a new starvation to reach success. He never wanted to be like the rest of his surroundings. He chose elsewhere for inspiration. His beginning hustles started with a mixer in 1980. Jerry started to make tapes and performed in his mother's parties. In 1983, Dre hooked up with a group of DJs, the world-class Wrecking Crew. Leaving the group, Dr. Dre makes a huge impact to his beginnings of his famous career, joining his neighbor and childhood friend Eric Lean, also very well known as the rapper Eazy-E, forming a very successful and popular group. NWA brought attractions across the country, one of the biggest formations that shaped his career path and saw out his name.
NWA just said something that everybody always wanted to say, but didn't have the balls to say it or didn't have a microphone.
Without NWA, you wouldn't have Marilyn Manson, you wouldn't have groups like Korn, you wouldn't have Eminem.
NWA was so known because so many had the same thoughts but were too scared to speak out.
NWA.
I'm expressing with my full capabilities, and now I'm living in correctional facilities.
They made waves for the graphic depiction of ghetto
The
life.
songs were very graphic that even the FBI was involved.
One of those songs, F the Police, expressed what it was like to grow up in Compton.
The police coming straight from the underground. A young got it bad 'cause I'm bright.
This music brought so many social waves and so many conversations that many people were too scared to speak of due to the police brutality in Compton, California. With all these conflicts going on in the group, Dr. Dre was informed with a tragic accident. His brother, Tyree, has passed away. Although Dre was going through grief, he never expressed it in front of the cameras, but further on, showed it in his music. It was a tragic moment for him that he never liked to speak of, not even with his own group. Further on, former member Ice Cube was the first one to leave NWA due to the misleading of Jerry Heller, and later on, Dre leaving as well, just keeping Eazy-E by himself, but later on Eazy-E dying due to AIDS. Further on, for Dr. Dre having bigger plans, in 1992, signed in with Suge Knight, creating Death Row Records. Later on, Dr. Dre created one of his most famous songs and going on billboards so many times, forming bigger
This and like that and like this and it's like that and like this and like that and it's like this and we ain't got no love for thugs.
working with Snoop Dogg and making one of his most famous songs, Nothing But a G Thing, and his albums like The Chronic.
People still singing that today, you know? They're gonna sing it 20 years from now. They're gonna say 1, 2, 3, and 2, 4. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at your door.
Ready to make an entrance.
And that's exactly what happened when Dr. Dre performed at the Super Bowl in 2022. Dr. Dre came from a long ways, from having no money to having it all, and going on and contributing with Eminem, becoming a role model to so many in the music industry. Lots of positive motivation for younger folks. For many, an influencer and motivator. For years, his music has been played across the country, selling his Beats Electronic Company for $3 billion in 2014. Just goes up from here, becoming one of the world's best DJs in history. Dr. Dre Romelle.
Billionaire Boys Club for real, homie. Huh? Fix your face. Fix